What up, folks? Yeah, it's time for another episode of Uncle Ricky's House. It's raining today, cloudy, but what the hell? I'm old. I ain't gotta go outside. Look, this thing with the current Congress and these power mad, just crazy, extreme right wing motherfuckers is out of hand. They are openly attacking democracy. And I would love to be able to say our democracy, but sometimes when you come from, a certain background, a lot of people don't think you fall under the coverage of a democratic system. And they do everything they can to push you out because they know that you're not going to vote for them because you understand already that they mean you no fucking good. And once they get in power, they do everything to change the system to keep people like you from voting. Now, everybody's already saying, well, you're just talking that because you're black. No, I'm talking that because I'm an individual of a certain economic status that happens to be black in a country where money is everything. A lot of people in this country and on this planet believe that people that don't have the same amount of wealth as they do, or access to the same amount of wealth, or have power that is either generated for working for that wealth or being part of the system that supports that wealth, bankers, stockbrokers, that kind of shit, they believe that you should have no say. And it's not a new thing. It goes back to when this country was formed. First of all, for the most part, even though people make a big thing about the president of the first constitutional Congress was a black man, okay, one black person out of a whole lot of white guys, one of the biggest first arguments that had to be hurdled or come to a consensus on, if you're going to be a democracy, who has the right to vote? And it wasn't even about white-black, because most black people were slaves. It was about land ownership. If you had land, if you had title, you could vote. But if you didn't have land, if you owned nothing, you didn't need to vote, because if you didn't have it, you shouldn't have a voice. Okay, that didn't work out, so, everybody supposedly had the right to vote, and then you had to get past, who was a human being? And even though the South was fully into slavery to support their agricultural economy, the North was like, well, look, if we let all you people, if you count all your slaves as people, because this is the way we're going to decide, how much power each state has, we fuck ourselves. So we think you should abolish slavery. And the South was automatically like, fuck you, no, we're not going out there and picking our own cotton. And you're not going to stop buying it because you need to make material. And you're not going to stop bringing slaves over from Africa because you're getting rich off that shit. The only reason they outlawed slave trade, and that wasn't the end of slavery, they outlawed slave trade because there was just too many black people in this country. I mean, we brought in African slaves, and after a couple of generations of doing this, black slaves were, American-bred black slaves were repopulating themselves, and white people got nervous. We don't have enough guns to control these motherfuckers. Why do you think ultra-conservative white people, one of the main things that they always are upholding is the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms? It's not about the government taking their shit. They afraid of people that's got melanin in their skin getting revenge, doing the same shit to them that they did to us. Now, the second thing, this big push to be a Christian nationalist country. Why is this? Why is this? Well, you can roll your ass right on back in history to the founding of America, right on around to America becoming independent, on through the antebellum and post-bellum history of this country. Christianity was used as a tool to, one, get people to the Americas in numbers where you could sustain colonization, and two, once the colonies were started, economies were developed. That's just a natural progression of society. And this is where the people that pushed the Christianity started to come out of the woodwork, because Christianity was a religious thing that kept the faithful believing that America was their country because God put it there so that they could go practice their rituals like everybody else. That's just the way it was, simply. That's why I used to be religious. I grew up in a religious family. My dad was a preacher. I tried this shit for a minute, and then I woke up. Saw how hypocritical it was. Now I don't participate. I still believe in God. Don't get that part wrong. But I have no real belief in organized religion, because there are people out there that do good and try to live according to the laws, but on the majority, you have no idea how bad it is, even in places where you think the righteous word is going out. And one thing I believe about God is, like, you can't say that you believe him, but then you do other shit in the name of him, but it's only in the name of you, your group, or some false idol like a Trump or a Creflo Dollar, or Kevin Copeland. We put people in the middle of us and God every day and expect God to continue to support us, bless us, allow us to live. But moving right along, how is America still a slave-holding nation? It's because of these idiots in Congress that are trying to enact programs to limit, oppress, or completely cancel our ability to function as individuals or move in groups that their philosophy doesn't match the philosophy of the people in power. During slavery time, slaveholders were in the South. Slaveholders were the people in power. They were either the politicians or they supported the politicians that represented their cause, and their cause was capitalism. Making money off the efforts, the labor of others, while they rode around their 400-acre plantations or their 30-acre plantations and figured out how to more effectively get profit by slaving others. And to do this, they combined as a group, because we were a democracy. They combined as a group, locally, statewide, and federally, to make sure that laws were enacted to protect their ability to make money off of the labors of others. And some of those families are still the industrial giants of America today. Not just America, the world. There are international companies that got their start, that got their early fortunes from providing transportation of human bodies from one place to another to either be slaves or indentured servants for the profit and entertainment of the rich someplace else. They did this by controlling the law. They did this by invoking religion, Christianity, as the supreme guidance for a nation, because Christianity, according to the King James Bible, talks about the necessity of slavery. One being a slave to a notion, a myth, a story, and then having the blind faith to support the myth, and then being taught to understand that if you're not a slave to the myth, then you are a heathen spawned by the devil. If your kid came to you and told you some kind of fairy tale that correlated to this, and there are some, you would tell them it wasn't real. It's just a fairy tale. It would never happen. But then there are many people that go out every day and try to make this a reality. Further yet, even believe that they are righteous in this being a reality. America got a lot of bullshit. But the only reason the bullshit continues is because we, the people, refuse to think for ourselves. Why do you think they want to make secondary education an evil thing, or reduce it to the subjects that don't cause people to question them? No liberal thinking whatsoever, because now that's critical race theory. No wokeness in our colleges, because woke people are useless. It's all about guns and God. And what they don't mention, it's all about the money in their pockets. Start reading for yourself. Start looking up shit for yourself. And I'm not talking about a 5-minute fucking, quick scan on Google, especially when you try to get that information from the people that are feeding the bullshit to you. Start looking at everybody. Start reading shit and then make up your own mind. And then, like the Bible says, you may be set free. The truth will set you free. The truth will certainly set you free. But you can't go let some motherfuckers, just because they got money and power, decide what the truth is. Well, that's it for me. See you later. God bless. Peace out. Uncle Ricky's house. Bye.